Welcome back, boys and girls. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. I promised you guys that I would do a revisit on the Mossberg 990 semi-auto. And this time we've SBS'd it and added ourselves a speed feed stock on here. This is a stock that I pulled off one of my police trade-in 13-inch Mossbergs. And we're gonna have some fun with this bad boy. This is a 14 3/4 inch barrel with a cylinder bore. We got a fiber optic sight on top. And this is a real cool setup. Now, we did do a video on this particular gun in its original state, in the Aftershock state with the bird's head grip on the back, but I wanted to throw a stock on there so we could do a little bit more serious shooting and see really what this gun is capable of. I have some Federal Flight Control buckshot loaded up, and we have some Firebird targets set up on some of our steel out there. These are Firebird 65 bios. They will work against steel, against wood, and with a variety of low velocity threats, such as even a bow can set these off. And they're a lot of fun. So I've got the slow-mo running over here. Let's have some fun. Okay, I'm gonna try to knock out these 5 right here in quick succession and try to get a slow-mo shot so you guys can see what these things are doing. All right, it's gonna get loud. Here we go. Yeehaw, boys and girls, here we go. All right, we got one. Okay, I must have missed those other ones. That's okay. Look, we'll shoot this one right up in front here. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. All right. Yeehaw. Okay. Well, we've already gone through some of the features of this particular gun, but essentially you have a semi-auto action. They did add a tactical bolt knob to this particular setup, which takes a bit of a departure from the old 930s. Okay, you do have an extended bolt release that they put on this particular gun. You have a strap that's up here on the fore end, a nice thin fore end with some M-lock accessory slot through and throughout. Let me tighten that magazine tube, loosened up a little. They did go with a more tactile and large safety on this particular gun, which is cool. And I thought this would make a fun SBS because it's nice and short, it's compact, it's semi-auto, you get really fast follow-up shots. So heck, why not? And since this thing was so hard to shoot with shotgun slugs in the earlier version of the video that we did, I thought it would be fun to revisit a variety of different shotgun slugs. Of course, we will shoot some more buckshot. Now let's see how this Federal Flight Control, this is the law enforcement load that has the flight control wad. Let's see how the flight control works out of the 14.75 inch barrel, cylinder bore barrel on this short Mossberg here. And let's just see how it works on these pieces of steel over here, okay? So that's 5 in the tube and 1 in the chamber, makes a capacity of 6. So you get a nice short setup and you don't really lose a lot of capacity. Before we pattern this round, let me look right here. Let me check my camera. Okay. That's looking good. Okay, we're gonna reposition the camera and take out that hominy down there with a shotgun slug here in a moment. But first, let's see how the flight control patterns at about 25 yards. We're gonna use this piece of steel in the middle here just to get an idea. Oh yeah. Okay. Sit down. Very good pattern, about the size of my fist at about 20 yards, 25 yards there, okay? I do have some of the Winchester military buckshot. We can probably try some of this. This is a 9 pellet. Let's try a few of these. You know, we're just checking for function. And gosh, boys and girls, with the stock, this is so much easier to shoot accurately and to have some fun with this guy, okay? I think that was 5. It was. Okay. Let's see if we can hit those Firebirds from here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Look. This rig right here. Yes. That is the cat's meow. Okay. Okay, I'm pleased with the slow-mo shot. Which slug should we use? How about the Berniki Black Magic? you know which dang slug I'm gonna use. All right, I'm gonna load 2. One in the chamber and one as a follow-up, because I want to put one on a piece of steel and make sure I have my point of aim precisely correct so I can hit this hominy with a good center shot so we can really see what's going on here, okay? So I'm just gonna put one on this piece of steel over here. It's about the same distance away. Let's have a look. Okay, that looks good. Okay, going for the hominy, boys and girls. Here we go. Hold your butts. Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Loving it. Loving it. I'll tell you what. Give me just a moment, boys and girls. I'm going to put some watermelons out there. Let's have some fun with some watermelons and a couple of federal slugs here. Let's do it. Give me one moment, y'all. I'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, I am back. And we're gonna hit these watermelons with some shotgun slugs here. Have some fun. We have the law enforcement true ball tactical slugs from Federal. Go ahead and give these a try. Okay. It is so fun to shoot slugs out of this little guy. Okay. And this is a cylinder bore gun. I'm really glad that they stuck with a cylinder bore for this. All right, I'm gonna try to hit these watermelons in relatively rapid succession here, so that we can hopefully catch all of them on our slow-mo camera. Hopefully these shots are in focus. I'm gonna feel like a real jerk if they're not. Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. And here we go. Oh yeah, smoked them. Oh yeah, okay, that's running. I got a couple more here. Let's see how they print. I know I got one in the chamber. That's okay, we're gonna be very cautious here and go ahead and top this gun off with a few more of these. These slugs are moving at 1,600 feet per second. That made a good impact there on those watermelons. Let's shoot a couple at distance back here while we're waiting on our slow-mo to render. Let's try some on the steel back here. Yeah, I noticed that they, let me pull my ears off. I noticed that they print really well. You know, consider I'm just kind of wrapping them out pretty quick, but they do print well, but I noticed they're probably about a foot high with where this bead is probably zeroed for close range and all. All in all, I'm very, very pleased with this gun. It is so fun to shoot with a stock on it. It's so controllable. You know, I do love the law enforcement 14-inch guns. The pump action 590 A1 law enforcement guns that I have, they're a lot of fun to shoot. But I feel like this being a semi-auto, you get fast follow-up shots, a nice light handy package, something that's easy to maneuver, easy to move around with. I'm totally down. And I tell you, as good as that buckshot printed, I kind of want to throw one out to about 35 yards and see how it prints way back there. Let's get an idea. I'm just going to print a couple of the flight control rounds at a little bit longer range, and let's see. Because at about 20 yards, it was printing about the size of a fist. So let's see if it opens up the further out we get. All right, I got a piece of steel back there. Let's see if we can keep all of our buckshot on that steel. It's about 35 yards away. We'll see how this does, okay? Oh yeah. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not sitting here trying to tell tales out of school or anything like that, but all of those buckshot pellets stayed on that steel at 35 yards with a cylinder bore 14 3/4 inch barrel. And I tell you what, that's the load right there. If you're gonna run buckshot in your home defense gun, that Flight Control Federal is great. That wad is something else. It does a fantastic job at providing a very good pattern. I do have a few other slugs we could print. You know, we have a few pieces of steel that are naked back there. Let's try a few of these anti-terror slugs. This is a Bernicki load, okay? Let's try a few of these out. Let's just print 2 or 3 of them, and plus, you know, we're gonna make sure that it runs them good. You know, knock on wood, you know, I've been shooting the mess out of this thing, and it generally runs just about everything I can put in it. Haven't really had a major problem in terms of slugs and buckshot. I haven't run a lot of bird loads, but I don't generally run bird loads out of a lot of the guns that I shoot, mostly slugs and buckshot. So Let's try these anti-terror slugs on a piece of steel back here. See how they pattern, okay? A little sweat in my glasses, that's okay. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Yep. Man, it loves those. Tell you what, I got 2 more in this box, and we're not gonna take home a partial box. Let's put a few back there on that other clanger back there at about 50 yards away, okay? Oh yeah, right on the bolt. Right over the shoulder. Man. All right, I have a request from Mossberg. If you guys can do this. You know on the 940 Pro, how you put that little cut on the back of the receiver for the 507C? This gun totally needs that. Little tiny slide rider type optic like the 507 there, mounted real low on the receiver. I think that would be an excellent addition to the 990 line, is to put that cut in there and make a model that has the red dot on it, or at least is red dot ready. That would be about my only request. Otherwise, well done. I'm really loving this gun a lot. I'll tell you what, I would trust my life to this gun in a heartbeat, no problem. So y'all, I hope you all had a great day. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been the 990 Mossberg Aftershock SBS with a stock. How cool. All right, I hope you all have a great one. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.